Let's cover GE, by the way, down this morning after this Madoff whistleblower, Harry Markopolos, releases a report alleging that GE has masked the depths of its problems, resulting in inaccurate and what he's calling fraudulent financial filings with regulators. GE responding, saying it has not been contacted by him and that the report was produced to help short sellers profit by creating volatility in the shares. We're going to talk to Harry Markopolos in the next hour of Squawk on the Street. He is working with a hedge fund whom he refuses to identify to the Journal today.
Yeah, then that's not cricket. I would say in the times I've met with Larry Culp and with the previous administration, I have pointed out over and over again that it is really hard to quantify long-term care policies that were written when life expectancy may have been to 75 and now people are living to 86. My father had long-term care and he bought the policy and the policy was very little and he had full-time, round-the-clock help that we priced out at $200,000 a year. Believe me, he did not spend $200,000 on that policy, and he was not unusual. Because those policies, those were poorly written, and GE did. I think it's fair to say that GE did not disclose them properly, but that's not Larry Culp. Larry's done his very best, the CEO, to really try to put the long-term care in a way that everybody agrees is as kosher as it can be. Carl, the problem with long-term care is that until a generation of people die off, it is going to be called into question because of the incredible cost of health care.
So when Markopolos argues that the insurance unit needs to boost cash reserves by $18 billion, do you think, I mean, do we know if that number is anywhere near legitimate?
It's very fungible. There are people who could. I once used a similar number to John Flannery. I said, couldn't this be so open? It could be $20 billion. And they were doing their best at all times to agree with what the regulators say. Now, the rap that a lot of people have is, well, the regulators don't know either. I agree with that. But I think that the idea that Larry Culp hasn't been transparent and forthcoming, I think is unfair.
I don't hear you saying that about any of his predecessors, say the past two.
I think that the previous one didn't understand the depth, and that's fine because it was really incredible. And the one before that, I think, was whistling past the graveyard. Not necessarily trying to obscure everything. I told Larry Culp the first thing he should do is fire the auditors. Change the audit group on the board. They were way too rosy. But let's just back up. So was Unum. So was AIG. So was Genworth. Everyone who wrote these policies because the life expectancy. I mean, who knew that healthcare would go up so much? Who knew that life expectancy would be as good? And the policies were totally written wrong. It'd be like writing just not to human life, but let's say you wrote a policy for a Grady, for a very expensive boat, and you paid them $20,000 and they had to pay you back $200,000. Right, there you go. Yep. That's that policy. Yep. John Hancock, again, Manulife. Totally, everybody wrote the policies wrong. It wasn't like they were glib and it wasn't like they were dishonest. It's just that they mispriced the merchandise. It happens. And GE mispriced a lot and didn't disclose it properly. Right. They had a little footnote. I mean, I'm a student of footnotes because I'm a little, let's say, ADD about footnotes. And it was in Immelt's Q, but not in any way that you would stick out.
We'll address all of this.
Larry's not like that. No.